I'm a huge fan of internet weirdos that post content online. I get really excited when I find a new entertaining goofball. And over the years, I've kind of made this collection in my little noodle up here, like a little mental museum of my favorite internet oddities. And I'll sometimes just get the urge to see how they're doing. So I'll go to their content, put their sack in my hand, and tell them to cough to give them a checkup, just to see what's going on and have a little laugh. And recently, I was made aware of one of the most bafflingly delusional content creators I've seen in quite some time, which is a TikTok psychic named Ashley. I made a video on her going over her whole situation. I'll break it down just in case you don't know who this is. Ashley is a self-proclaimed clairvoyant psychic who tries to solve real-world mysteries. She uses less reasoning than Scooby-Doo does in the cartoon. Like, she doesn't even bother actually investigating. She just makes up fan fiction that she pulls out of her ass and then tries to portray it as the truth. So she recently made like 100-something TikTok videos accusing a woman named Rebecca Schofield of being the person responsible for the murder of 4 University of Idaho students. This is a complete baseless claim. She used tarot card readings as well as her own patented method of tapping into the universal consciousness, surfing the cosmic vibes of astrology or whatever, and accusing Rebecca Schofield relentlessly of being the murderer. She's now being sued for this because, as it turns out, Rebecca Schofield is completely innocent. It seems Ashley is going to need to spend a little more time mastering the avatar state to get the proper information, because here's the main suspect, Brian Koberger. Now, even if it somehow turns out by a crazy plot twist it's not Brian, even though there is a ton of fucking evidence behind it being him, it is still 100% not Rebecca Schofield, as Ashley has claimed hundreds of times now. Now, you would assume that a rational person, after being sued for defamation for accusing an innocent woman of being a murderer, and the most likely real murderer being arrested, you'd think that she'd then be like, yep, looks like I was wrong. This is a big boo-boo from me here. Sorry about all that. The natural next step would be apologizing and trying to move on from it, backpedaling like, looks like I made a mistake. The spirit realm was, the Wi-Fi signals were blocking it and I didn't have my shungite around me. But in the case of Ashley, you'd be wrong, because she commits even further to the delusion, and even after the threat of being slapped around legally, she is still maintaining that she's correct and everyone else is wrong. I'd like to show you some of these TikToks, and I already did talk about some of these in the last video I made, but I actually want to bring this out to a bigger topic, and that's people's inability to accept responsibility even when faced with the absolute truth. People are so afraid of being wrong that they will just do the most unrealistic mental gymnastics that you couldn't even write in a fucking cartoon in order to justify how they're still correct and they're not wrong. I've seen this all over Twitter. When someone gets dunked on Twitter, like they get provably dunked on with facts, logic, evidence, they still will discredit it or come up with some reason that evidence, the facts, the proven truth is wrong and they are right. It's this weird defense mechanism that's so infuriating. You see it all the time with flat earthers. How many times have flat earthers proven with their own experiments that the world is round, and yet they still decide to believe that it's flat? It's people still just wanting to feel special. And it doesn't matter what you bring to them, no matter how bulletproof the evidence or the truth is, they'll just decide not to care. They'll just go back to that belief that makes them feel like they're above everyone else and their intelligence is unrivaled. It really grinds my asshole, like chafes the fuck out of it. I went on Ashley's TikTok today because I thought it'd be fun just to have a little giggle. But as I watched her videos, that smile quickly turned to a frown, and I just got so frustrated listening to her try and justify how she's still right.
Also, let's pay attention to the statement the University of Idaho gave regarding the lawsuit that Rebecca Schofield has against me, but also the accusations that I made that she was the one who ordered and who is responsible for the murder of the 4 University of Idaho students. It says, while this lawsuit is a private matter, U of I does not condone spreading false information and find this particular allegation to be one of the worst we have seen.
That sounds reasonable. Straight and to the point. This is false information and some of the worst we've ever seen. Also, the fan fiction she's writing is absolute garbage and fucking trash. She should stop trying to write these erotic novels that she's cooking up here and trying to pass it off as real evidence in a legitimate murder where 4 students lost their lives. She's trying to capitalize off the death of these 4 students with her for her own clout. So there was a lot more they could have said to really just, drive the nail in, but they made a very generic boilerplate response that still just kind of covers this, like, the whole situation.
They've made it clear that they do not condone the spreading of false information. That's one. And for this one, they believe that the allegations I've made is the worst they've seen. Let's pay attention to what they didn't say, which is they didn't say that they agree that Rebecca Schofield didn't know these students. They didn't say that they agree that she didn't teach these students. And they didn't say that they agree that she didn't advise or mentor any of these students. This statement is carefully written, just in case she's guilty.
Getting your arm caught in an escalator and having it crushed to fucking pieces in front of you would be less painful and less traumatizing than listening to her speak about this situation. I don't even know where to begin. Let's start with the obvious. What the fuck are you even trying to say? Here's their statement. But here's what's suspiciously absent from their statement. This is some stupid shit a 4-year-old would cook up in their head. You can actually make this argument for every statement ever. For example, with your own TikToks, you have not once said that you aren't the murderer. Should I start suspecting you as a culprit in this case, as one of the chief suspects? You've made hundreds of TikToks, and I don't think you've mentioned being innocent here. Where were you on the night of the murders, Ashley? It's very odd that you've chosen not to proclaim your innocence or mention where you were on the night of the murders. Now I'm starting to, furrow my brow a bit here and wonder, what's going on behind the scenes, Ashley? Why hasn't that been part of any of your statements? Peculiar, isn't it? They didn't address any of the brain dead shit that you said in this TikTok in their statement because they didn't fucking need to. It's already been proven by law enforcement that you're just wrong on every single goddamn claim.
It's a lot of people on YouTube, on the news and articles, the comments, TikTok videos, whatever. When the truth comes out and you see that I'm right, I just want you guys to leave that stuff up and stand on what you said. Don't delete it and try to bandwagon. Stand on it.
Your arrogance makes me want to cry. Ashley, if anything comes out that's even remotely adjacent to you making a claim that's almost grounded in reality, I will actually shit my fucking pants. Of course I will keep it all up. For those that don't know, a bulk of her claims were about Rebecca Schofield and her internalized lesbianism, where she was an advisor or a mentor to one of the students and she fell in love with her, but this conflicted with her traditional values, and then the student, she was kind of old, and then, but what about Rebecca's husband? And she just made like a 50 Shades of Grey novel around real murders and blaming a real innocent lady for all of it. And not only her, she also throws another real person under the bus as a potential murderer here, talking about how they, fucking formed this kind of villain alliance here and hired assassins to take out the students. It's an unreal amount of garbage, and it actually does make me upset that she truly believes it so firmly.
I took a nap. I tried to quit, but I can't quit. And I don't even want to cry on you, but when I went to sleep, I had a dream. And in the dream, it was Kaylee's mom and Kaylee's dad. And I was by Kaylee's mom, and we were just crying. And that is so hurtful. But anyway, I'm not going to quit. I've mistakenly let them lead me into masculine energy, which is protective energy, because of the lawsuits and all the negativity and the media and the comments and things of that sort. I've let them force me into masculinity, protective energy. But I should have continued to focus on what I know, which is feminine, intuitive, receptive energy.
Absolutely disgusting. She's now talking about how one of the victims' parents came to her in a dream and they were crying together over all of this. And then, all of the negativities forcing her into masculine energy. whatever the fuck that means. I did, however, get a laugh out of this whole like masculine versus feminine energy thing, as if it's just something that can wash over you because some people left mean comments or called you out on your bullshit. Like, damn, goodness gracious, I looked at a piece of wood today and the masculine energy nearly made me pass out. Or like, hey Charlie, we're going to a bar tonight, are you in? Nah, sorry, I can't, bro. I ate a Pop-Tart earlier today and I got hit with some childish energy, so now I'm no longer old enough to drink. But you guys have fun tonight. Just such a fucking stupid, silly thing.
Long story short, I'm not posting no more free information regarding this case online anymore. You got people on here asking me information and using my information, then turn around and saying I'm crazy or leading protests against me and allowing me to be badgered.
Even when she does decide to shut the fuck up, which I imagine she was advised to do by a lawyer who's instructing her to stop, hit the brakes as hard as possible, and stop posting this shit, she still tries to spin it as like a victory for her, and we're all the bad guys for calling her out on how deplorable the whole thing is. So yeah, I just wanted to go over this because I am so tired of people just refusing to accept reality. Like, there's nothing wrong with being wrong. Like, changing your beliefs is a natural thing. It's healthy. You should change your beliefs. You shouldn't have the same beliefs right now as you did 10 fucking years ago. You should be evolving as you're getting new information, you're learning new things. Your beliefs should also be evolving as well. There is no reason to stick to something that is provably wrong and false. It just makes no goddamn sense, and it made me upset today, damn it, and I needed to rant. That's about it. So yeah.